More like Tom Light, true. So true. You got me, dude. That's what they don't tell you. What happened to the Minecraft server? I shut it down a long time ago. A long time ago. I didn't really put in the effort to upkeep it, and I didn't want to deal with it, so we shut it down a long time ago. I don't think I'm ever doing shit like that again. The problem is, man, like, community stuff can be fun, but it's just a pain in the ass to deal with that I'd rather not manage, you know? That's why I haven't gone through the effort of, like, making a subreddit, because obviously I'm not bringing back a Discord server. I don't want to deal with that, but I haven't gone through the effort of making a subreddit just because I don't want to have to deal with it. I don't want to have to deal with moderation or anything like that. Like, it can just be a huge pain in the ass, and that kind of shit can also just be a big liability. So I honestly have no desire to do anything even close to that, at least right now. Maybe in the future that'll change, but for right now, I just don't want to, man. It doesn't seem worth it. It doesn't seem worth the time and effort you got to spend on it. It's just a pain. You need a lot of mods to maintain it. Yeah, you do, and if you want them to do it well, you got to pay them, and I don't want to shell out money for mods that I could just, like, I just want to make content, you know? The most community interaction I think I'll do is just chat, basically, on stream. That's the most I want to do. I'm not willing to do any more than that. Just doesn't seem worth the effort, really. Are you gonna play Left 4 Dead? I've played Left 4 Dead many times. You mean on stream? I've played it on stream before. The thing about gaming on stream is, like, I like talking to chat. I feel like that's my main appeal as like a person, like, talking, because I'm not good at games. There can be funny interactions that happen in games, but I feel like a lot of them are just, like, interpersonally funny between me and whoever I'm playing with. It's not like the most interesting thing in the world. So I feel like, generally speaking, if I'm going to play a game, it's got to be like... The reason why Andy and Lately work so well is because there's an interesting story and a mystery you unravel, but at the same time, I can talk to chat about it and ask them their thoughts and get, like, their decisions, and just, like, you know, I could narrate it kind of like an audiobook because there were so many quotes, so many little text bubbles, but it just doesn't seem like a lot of games are conducive for that, you know? I don't want to play games where I have to pay attention and try, because I'm not going to be able to do it. I can't multitask. I'm retarded. You should stream RuneScape? I probably wouldn't like that. It seems boring. RuneScape is just like an endless grinder game for gold, right? It doesn't seem that interesting to me personally. It's healthy to keep a distance from the audience, I think. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the thing is, like, I think I've seen too many people get too wrapped up in their own, especially streamers. They get too wrapped up in their audience and just becomes their life, and, like, that's all the social connection they have in the world. You know, I don't want to be one of those people. It's very impressive seeing people like Destiny navigate, like, the waters of constant chat interaction every single day, and, like, community interaction between, like, a subreddit and a Discord server. I think people underestimate the toll that can take mentally. That's why so many streamers have crazy crash outs. Most people aren't built for it, and especially his ability to navigate all the interpersonal drama he had back in the day with, like, that big drama arc with, like, Lav and Mr. Girl and all those fucking weirdos. Like, his ability to navigate that and not go insane is, like, crazy. I don't think I have that. I don't think I could handle that kind of thing. Especially when they're all, like, leaking personal shit about you. Like, it's just not, it doesn't seem worth it to me, you know? Are you actually good at singing? I don't know. Maybe. I sing in my car when I'm bored, and then people look at me funny at stoplights and I stop. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not, like, a singer. It's kind of a fun thing to do sometimes. Am I actually good at singing? I don't know. I don't really think about it. Fucking N-word moment. Destiny's mentally built different. He is. We talked about this in the documentary. There is something off about him. I don't know what it is. He used to say on streams a lot he was, like, sociopathic. I don't know if that's it, but he seems to have some kind of thing in him where he just is unbothered by certain, like, kinds of turmoil interpersonally that can exist. It doesn't seem to affect him mentally that much, or, like, make him crash out. I don't know what that is, or why he, like, what if that's, like, an illness, or he just is able to, like, compartmentalize these things really well. Stream group equals 0 effort or time needed. That's not the truth at all. Stream groups, do you mean, like, collaborating with other people? Stream groups are a pain in the ass because it's more of a pain in the ass because you have to, like, coordinate with other people. You say it's 0 effort, but getting, like, 3 or 4 people in the same place at the same time is so annoying. That's why group channels rarely work out. Like, just one problem being scheduling issues, but then also, like, getting everybody on the same page where they're all consistently making content together and, you know, not at each other's throats, especially when they're living together. Like, this is why these, like, content creator houses fall apart. Like, I've been asked to be a part of a content creator house before, and I was just, like, kind of firmly no, because it just wouldn't be good. I don't want to live with other YouTubers. You know, there's a lot of egos that can get in the way. And on top of that, if your roommates are also YouTubers, are you ever going to have time away from YouTube? You're just going to be consumed by the content vacuum. It could make you a very annoying person. Destiny has beautiful princess disorder. So true. Shut up to Team Crafted. Yeah, they really lasted a long time. That worked out well for all of them. No, you're kidding me. This is not happening. No. Fuck off. Fuck this fucking game. I'm starting a new world. I was wondering if you have more collab stuff planned with the IRL channel, because it's cool seeing you guys bounce off each other comedically. I mean, the thing with Tom IRL is it was kind of a weird experience for me starting that channel, because initially the thing that I wanted to do with the content was, like, I had it in my mind that the best thing to do was just to plan all these trips and try to do as much content as possible on these trips and just throw shit at a wall and see what stuck. And I realized thinking back that was not the way to do it. The best way to do it would be to plan a little better, and like each trip it should really just be one kind of content. Like when we did the Meowdalin and the Dom Schmidt videos, those videos were technically the same trip, but it was just those 2 videos we planned. We had a specific amount of days in each place where we are going to focus on one thing. The problem with the trips I was doing before is it was like I was spending like a week in one city trying to do as much content as possible, and ultimately, like, out of the multiple videos we did, like 2 of them were worth it and the rest were just not. So I mean, will I do collabs? Yeah, for sure, but like that's a lot of what I want to do on that channel for sure. I can't tell you specifically what I have planned. Like there's no specific set in stone plans I have right now. Steam, not stream. Valve mods, just invite it. Wait, Space Station, what does that mean? Steam group? Oh, a Steam group? Yeah, once again, I just don't. I'm literally never going to check it. I never go on Steam. I'm not going to make a Steam group. Like, there's no chance. I'm going to be completely inactive on it. Completely. Vanoss seems to be the only one that worked out. I don't know a lot about Vanoss. I honestly don't. I never watched him back in the day. Like, I think by the time he was really coming up, I think I wasn't really watching a lot of gaming YouTubers. I was watching most of the gaming content that I watched on YouTube around, I don't know when he started getting popular, but the peak of me watching like Let's Players on YouTube was like 2010 to 2013. And then around the time Markiplier started getting popular, I was watching some of his FNAF videos, and then past that point, I think I started getting into other kinds of stuff. I started being enamored with the meta game of YouTube, rather than just like watching people play games on stream. It became a little less appealing to me. What is it about the girl with the dragon tattoo that makes you your favorite film? I mean, a lot of things. A lot of things. I can kind of break this down a little bit, I think. So the girl with the dragon tattoo is for my favorite director, David Fincher. Now, David Fincher has directed a decent amount of movies. The first movie he directed was Alien 3. Now, Alien 3 is kind of a controversial movie in the Alien franchise. It's probably regarded as the first bad one, because Alien was really good. It was like a very atmospheric, dark, spooky horror movie taking place in space. It's very toned down. There's not a ton of music. It's not very flashy. It's a very creepy, slow film. Aliens, on the other hand, was directed by James Cameron. And James Cameron is a blockbuster director, and naturally that was reflected in the movie, because it is a, horror movie, but there's a lot of action aspects. You've got the, colonial Marines. They're running around with guns. They're, forming a team. They're running into these dangerous scenarios. I don't even remember if there were any guns in the first Alien, but in Aliens, they all had guns, and they were blasting the fuck out of them. And it was really cool. It was like them fighting waves of enemies. And Aliens is a very influential movie because a lot of media that came after was heavily inspired by it. Like, for example, Halo, like the xenomorph design clearly inspired the Elite quite a bit. And the number, in Aliens, the guns have a little screen on them that displays the amount of ammo you have left. That was also directly ripped and put into Halo. Games like Contra were also heavily inspired by Aliens. It was overall just a really great movie. Those first 2 are really good. But Alien 3 was kind of in production hell. They couldn't seem to get a script written for it that was appealing to the studio, but also made sense to Sigourney Weaver, who played Ripley. There were a lot of other issues. I'm sure somebody that makes video essays on YouTube could describe it to you much better. But ultimately, he decided on David Fincher to direct. Now, Fincher at that point in time was a music video director, really. So this is his directorial debut. And ultimately, I think there are good things about that movie that you can kind of draw a through line to his other stuff. Like, a lot of the shots are very beautiful. He has a very good sense of visual composition. He knows how to make a shot look nice and make everything fit perfectly within the frame to draw in the focus to what you need to look at. And the plot itself is still interesting. It is a decent movie. It's decent. There are issues with it, but it is still a decent movie. I do like Alien 3. But the movie, even though it was a financial success, it kind of got some mixed reviews from critics. It was seen as like the worst of the 3, which it is the worst of the 3, the first 3. And they went on to do other movies, which, anything past Alien 3, in my opinion, is like basically not canon. I think Ripley's character, in my mind, died with that movie. But Fincher went on to direct a lot of other films. I believe his first movie after that, because I think Alien 3 was like 1991 or 2. After that, I think he did Fight Club was his next movie. Fight Club is good. It has some silly moments, Now when I watch it, I kind of cringe at the moments where Tyler Durden is going insane and he's like fighting himself. But overall, it's a pretty interesting movie. The acting is good. The character dialogue is like corny but somewhat believable within the context of it. It is an interesting story of like these young, disgruntled, middle-class office worker men rising up due to how disaffected they are in life and deciding to form this, I mean, basically terrorist group, right? It is interesting. And once again, it was a very just well done, well paced movie that, you know, the thing I think I like about Fincher is, and this is a thing that's reflected in my own writing, he's not a very flashy writer. He's not super flowery. He's not super poetic in terms of how he writes things. Character dialogue is usually relatively simple and believable. But I think that works in his favor because he gives you just as much information as you need without making it too dramatic, without making it too avant-garde, without making it too insane. It's really well done. And in my opinion, that movie is good. But the first movie, I don't remember if that movie came out before 7 or if 7 came before it. But I think 7 is the first movie where I, like, Fight Club is good, but 7 I think is just so much better. 7 is a fucking great movie. I love 7. 7 is so creepy. The characters are so... They feel real. They feel like they exist. The sort of like dark Gotham City, dilapidated metropolitan area that they inhabit is really cool. The mystery being unraveled slowly is really great. The theme of the 7 deadly sins being reflected by Kevin Spacey's crimes is really cool. It's just a really satisfying movie. It's really good. And he would do a lot of other stuff. Like I think I like all of Fincher's movies. He did Panic Room, which is good. It's more of a simple, just like silly, fun movie. But even for what it is that it's really well done. Like for what it set out to do, it really, I think, captures that very well. It's like a simple, contained story of, I think it's a mother and a daughter trying to deal with violent home intruders. It's really good. And The Social Network, I think, is also really good. Some of the writing from, I think it's Aaron Sorkin who wrote that. Some of the dialogue is a little bit corny, but I don't give a fuck. I love that movie. I think The Social Network is so good. I have a poster of it on my wall. I think it's so well done. The way they jump back and forth between the like discovery hearings, like the court conversations, right, that are recorded when they're interviewing Mark and the Winklevosses and what is Jared Garfield? What is his guy's name? I can't remember right now. But whatever his name is, I think it's just super well done. So I like that movie a lot. And Gone Girl is also good. I just keep saying it's good. He just does thrillers really well. And thrillers are already a genre that I enjoy a lot, but he, I think, does them the best. Now, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, to set it up, I won't spoil it in case you haven't seen it. It seems to me to be one of Fincher's less like recognized films. I feel like people don't talk about it as much, but it is also a thriller. It's a crime investigation movie, and it essentially follows the story of a journalist who has lost everything. He sort of inadvertently defamed someone and ended up costing him his entire business, and he's just totally fucked. It's like over for him. His personal life is not that great. His professional life is just destroyed. It's over for him. And he gets a mysterious proposition from a wealthy businessman in the north of like Sweden or something like that, one of those Nordic countries, and he's like, "Hey, come to my little icy Hyperborean plantation, solve this family murder. If you do it, I'll give you the information you need to prove that the guy you slandered on accident is actually guilty of everything." That's essentially the plot. But I think the way that Fincher explores dark themes is very tasteful. It's never gratuitous. It's never like, I feel like, you know, I like Tarantino movies, but they're so over the top. I get that's his style, but they're so fucking over the top. The way Fincher does it, I think, in a less comedic, more straightforward way, is really good. The character development he shows, like actions actually have consequences in his movies. It changes the characters. You can see why they act the way they do based on their past and what they've gone through is really good. Thank you, Amish Dropout, for becoming a member. And I mean, on top of that, even like peripheral stuff, like I guess aesthetic choices are really good. Like the music, for example, being done by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. All the soundtracks for all the movies that they've done. I know they did a closer remix for the opening of 7. They also did Social Network soundtrack. I think they did Gone Girl. I know they did Girl with a Dragon Tattoo. The soundtracks they do, they are so haunting, so atmospheric, but it's never random. Like the thing I love about Fincher movies is it feels like everything he does is with intention. Every piece of his movies, every scene, every line fits perfectly. There's nothing unnecessary. There's no fat to trim. They're all just giving you the right information you need to carry on the plot without making it annoying, without making it cringe, without making it like gratuitous and just like cringy, artsy bullshit. Like every movie he's done, I feel like is just, that I've seen anyway, with the exception of Alien 3, which to my understanding, it wasn't totally his fault. How that went, there were a lot of production issues. He was kind of rushed to get that done. They're just so intentional. They're so well done. Like everything is just how it should be. Zodiac is great. Yeah, Zodiac is good. I mean, Zodiac, in fairness, I will give a little bit of criticism there. Zodiac is a little bit long, I think. You know, it feels a little drawn out if you're not ready for a 3-hour movie. But even that movie, for the story it's trying to tell, I think does it in a super, like, it is haunting, it is scary, but it's not making it over the top. It's not making it unbelievable. It feels like a real story, and I mean, it is based off a true story, but it's just in the casting too. Like, picking Jesse Eisenberg for Mark Zuckerberg and the performance he did there was so good, man. It was so good. Like, after the stream, I almost just want to watch one of his movies again, just to remind myself of how good they are. He even did a movie recently that was, I would compare it to Panic Room in terms of simplicity. It's a very straightforward movie. It's called The Killer. It's got Michael Fassbender. It's about a hitman. That movie also is very well done, despite its simplicity. Once again, I feel like it's not over the top. It's not retarded. It's not insane. It's not annoying. Iron Man 2 is better than all these movies. Yeah, true. My bad. Should have talked about that. Can I not go to bed? Yeah, let's do it. Worth watching the American one after I've already seen the original. I haven't seen the original, so I can't testify to that. But if Rotten Tomatoes scores mean anything, I think the American one is better. It's just so good, man. Everything he does is so good. I don't understand. I feel like he'd be really good at making documentaries, honestly. I don't know if he's ever done any, but I think he would do a really good job at making documentaries about complicated situations. Did you watch the 2022 Batman movie? Yeah, I did. That was really good. That movie felt a lot like Seven. That movie felt like they took Seven and made it a Batman movie, which I didn't have any complaints about, certainly. I was like, fuck yeah. But that, I feel like there were a lot of similarities to Seven with the way the crimes were uncovered very slowly. Once again, how intentional a lot of the dialogue feels. Them trying to make Batman more believable. Like, I remember when The Dark Knight came out, everybody was like, oh my God. Well, I don't really remember, but I know the converse because I was fucking like, how old was I? 2008. I was like 6 when that movie came out. But I know everybody talks about how realistic Nolan movies are. They do feel grounded, but I think that making the world slightly... Like, I think that the reason The Dark Knight works in terms of believability is because it just feels like it's in New York City. It feels like it's in modern-day New York City. I think that putting Batman in a fictional, but still, like, seemingly believable, understandable, complex world, I think works better. Like, I think putting him in, like, the dingy, derelict Gotham City setting works better than what Nolan tried to do, which I still like the Nolan movies. I played one Forza game, I think, on the Xbox 360, maybe. The Penguin's pretty good if you haven't seen it. I watched the first 2 episodes. I think the only 2 that are out right now. They were good. They were pretty good. What about Grown Ups 2? I like the first Grown Ups movie. I haven't seen it for like 10 years, but in 10 years. I haven't seen it in 10 years, but I think I like the first one. Adam Sandler, I don't know. I'm retarded, so I think he's funny. I mean, sometimes I think the comedy is more laughing at his sense of humor, but I like Adam Sandler stuff. Uncut Gems, yeah, of course, the movie's good. That movie gave me so much anxiety the first time I watched it. I almost couldn't get through it because it's like just seeing him take every wrong move he could possibly make and still managing to hold on until the very end. Do you watch Joker 2? I will watch it. I haven't yet. Unfortunately, it seems like people didn't like it as much. I have a sinking feeling. I don't know if this is validated at all. I just thought in my head maybe Joker 2 is actually really good, but we won't realize it for 10 years. Maybe I'll watch it and hate it and think it's bad, but maybe in 10 years it'll be seen as like a hidden gem, cult classic. So I should do Gotham 1919. I think it would be cool if they did instead of that. I think it would be cool if they did a Gotham by Gaslight movie. It kind of wouldn't really make sense in the current, they're not going to have 2 simultaneous Batman franchises running. Wouldn't make a lot of sense, but I would like to see that. If they did a one-off Gotham by Gaslight, I think that would be really interesting. But for the love of God, don't give Batman a British accent. That would just ruin it for me. You should watch On the Count of Three. On the Count of Three. On the Count of Three. 2 best friends, Val and Kevin, spend the last day of their lives together. That sounds dark. Sounds interesting. It's got good ratings. Maybe it's good. I'll leave the tab open on my computer so I remember to watch it. Why not? I've been watching Ballers lately, the HBO show about football. It's pretty funny. There's this one scene when, actually, I don't want to spoil it. Actually, fuck it, I'll spoil it. This guy at a party, I think the character is Jason. He's like really drunk. He's a white dude at a party full of like black football players and their friends. And he's like, "What's up, my N-words?" And then The Rock is like, "What the fuck did you just say?" And they just throw him in the pool. It was a great scene. It's a fun show. Little, there are some dark parts to it, but it's overall just silly, goofy fun. It's pretty good. About the general plight of young football players who are given a lot of money and don't know how to handle it, and people just trying to tard wrangle them. It's like tard wrangling the show. Bo Blacks, I feel like, needs Bo Blacks, DSP, Boogie. They all need a manager like The Rock to manage their lolcow fame. Well, I don't know if Bo Blacks is a lolcow. He probably wouldn't fall into that category quite yet. Have you seen Lawrence of Arabia? I haven't. I haven't seen a lot of older movies. I assume that's an older movie. I want to watch some Mel Gibson stuff. Didn't he direct Passion of Christ? I haven't seen that yet. I think he has. I was talking to my dad about this. I think Mel Gibson has some kind of like Christian film studio now where all the movies have some kind of Christian message. I liked Hacksaw Ridge, and I think that was a part of that sort of production. One of my favorite war movies, which I feel like people never talk about this movie. I feel like it's very forgotten. Maybe I just haven't seen enough war movies, but I used to watch a lot of them in like late middle school, early high school, is We Were Soldiers. I watched that movie on a plane, and I was literally tearing up multiple parts of it. Although I am a pussy, so I cry at most movies. At the emotional part that's supposed to get you, it gets me, which is weird because I usually don't cry outside of that. But man, We Were Soldiers is such a good movie. I think I had to watch The Passion of Christ in 6th grade. We didn't watch that. We watched, what movies did we have to watch for class? I remember, I think sophomore year was it AP Gov, or did I even have AP classes sophomore year? Whatever the class was, they made us watch Boy in the Striped Pajamas in class to learn about the Holocaust. Is it gay to cry when she's pegging you? Undoubtedly. Take It Like a Man. Apocalypse Now, Full Metal Jacket. I mean, those are the obvious choices, but they're good. Full Metal Jacket I really like. Private Pile! That disturbed me the first time I watched it, his character. I think looking back now, maybe I'd see it as a little silly, but whoever that actor is, he did a really good job he did a really good job conveying just a psychotic dude broken by the bullying of boot camp. Full Metal Jonkler. I haven't thought about that. I probably should have thought about that. That probably would have changed my life if I thought about that more carefully. They would always play Remember the Titans in high school. That is a good movie. I feel like there's probably a decent amount of like sports movies that I just passed up on when I was younger because I was like, sports, who cares? But I've seen Rocky, obviously. I mean, Rocky's, I know it's culturally important. It's a little corny, but I don't hate it. But I really like... when I was on planes this past year, I watched all the Creed movies. Creed 1, 2, and 3. All good. All good movies, man. I was gripped the whole time. I enjoyed every single one, every single minute of it. Michael B. Jordan did a great job. Ballers on HBO was good, especially as somebody who doesn't really... honestly, I don't understand the dynamics of football to this day. Like, I don't really understand most of it. I know that they do touchdowns or whatever. I know they try to get the ball to the other end, and I know they tackle them or whatever, but I never paid any attention to any football-related shit going on at Super Bowl parties. I was always confused. Everyone would be like, the fourth down. I'd be like, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? I'm eating salsa right now. But Ballers is good because it's not really about sports. It's just about the characters. Like, there's no the football game scene, at least where I'm at now. If there is, I assume it would be understandable for a layman tard like me to get it. You're a Patriots fan? Stop lying. I mean, I think it's cool when the team close to me wins. I don't really care. Tom Brady, yeah, shout out Tom Brady. Gronk, adult Gronk, not baby Gronk, adult Gronk. He got the touchdown. Yay, he did it. Vegan Games would not be proud of me right now. I grew up in Cape Cod. I can't not be a Patriots fan. I mean, the Patriots shit when I was growing up was incessant. Absolutely incessant, man. As I've gotten older, I've developed a little bit more of an appreciation for athletics in general. When I was younger, I was like, just, anyone can do that. You should use your mind. I think physical accomplishments are much more impressive than mental accomplishments. The toll that achieving physical athletic greatness takes on the mind was greatly lost on me when I was younger. Have you been to a Bruins game? Yeah, I went to one. It was fun. I don't even care about hockey. You know, they had the music, the flashing lights, the They played a Day to Remember song for like 20 seconds. That was good. It was entertaining. Hockey games are a blast. Yeah, I would go to another hockey game, even though I don't give a shit about hockey. It was just a fun time. I was sitting in it was in the garden. I was sitting in the balcony seats? Just like the way top. I was up there watching the game. Had a beer and a hot dog. It was a good time. This is not even that long ago. This was probably 2 years ago. NBA games are probably fun. Maybe they are. Maybe I'm missing out by not going. I would go to another hockey game, though. I wish I played hockey growing up. Because my dad taught me to ice skate, and he played hockey in high school. And he tried to get me into it, but I just never gave a shit. I was like, I'm just going to be on the computer all day, which, I guess I don't really regret that. It paid off, but I don't know. I wish I'd taken it more seriously. My best friend Tommy died yesterday. He introduced me to your channels. He loved your Tommy Rail content. You used to make him laugh so much. Thanks. Jeez, that's dark, man. Well, rest in peace. Rest in peace to a real brother. I'm eating Doritos taco shells because I'm off the Benjamin and I have no snacks. That's crazy. No more Benjamin time for you. We're putting an official ban on Benjamining. No more going to Blinkertown or whatever they say. What do you do when you catch feelings for your pregnant girl best friend? I don't fucking know. Push it deep down. You probably didn't catch feelings. You're probably just horny. If you knocked a girl up, I think you've made your bed with that one. You probably got to deal with that. I don't think you should be concerned with other women right now. If you knocked up a girl, that's your problem now, buddy. You got to deal with that. However you're going to deal with it. Ideally, raise the child. As a hockey person, it's never too late to start playing. Beer leagues are so much fun. I don't want to drink beer that bad, though. Maybe it'd be fun. I don't know. I feel like all the kids that are doing that now are going to be tryhards if they're, you know, if they're not in college sports, but they're just playing in like a little community league. They're definitely going to be way better than me. I've literally like almost never touched a hockey stick. Maybe I played hockey once or twice when I was a kid, just like for fun with my cousin, I want to say maybe, but I feel like I have some vague memory of this. Uncuts music by OPN, GGL, OPN, Still Life Beta Male. What the fuck are you saying? Come to Florida for bike week. Is that like a biker game thing? What mods you got on? I don't have any mods on. 1v1 me in basketball. I will own you. You probably will, poser. All right, with that being said, I'm going to get off. I'm getting tired. It's about that time I hit the hay. But thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. Subscribe to all the channels and shit. You know the drill. Stay safe. Oh, fuck, I said it. Drive safe. Have fun. Don't do drugs, kids. Keep on your grind, all right? Work toward your passions. Achieve your dreams and all that good stuff. Bye-bye.